All right. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to Daily Dark Side. I hope everybody is doing okay. Everybody is getting their week off to a good start. I know it's still early here. It is 7 a.m. Central on the dot. We are ready to kick off a new week. Brand new show. This show will be every weekday at 7 a.m., where I just come on for about 30 minutes and discuss some of the hot topics going on in the news, on social media, in the sporting world, pro wrestling, going on in my mind. It's just a friendly conversation talk show slash podcast called Daily Dark Side. Thank you guys so much for joining me this morning, and I hope everybody again is having a good morning, getting their day off to the start. Whether you're listening to this live on Twitch, whether you're listening to this on my YouTube channel, thank you very much for giving me a listen. And if you are on YouTube, please like and subscribe. Greatly appreciate it. We are trying to grow our YouTube, uh, trying to get that bit going a little bit more. And of course, if you're here with me on Twitch, make sure you follow if you like more content and want some awesome emotes and some future amazing perks. You can always subscribe to the channel. Greatly appreciate it. Thank you all for the continued support. And let's kick things off. Yesterday, wow. Yesterday had to have been one of the best week in sports I have ever, or best days in sports I've ever seen in one whole day. It is also one of the most tragic weeks in football that I have seen in recent memory. And what I'm talking about when I say that is that a lot of great games happened yesterday. A lot of high scoring games happened yesterday. A lot of drama happened yesterday, capping off with the Monday night game with that defensive stand that the Seahawks did against the Patriots um, to win their game. Uh, a lot of good all across the board. A lot of great games. On my pigskin pick'ems, and I tweeted this out last night. It and going back to my predictions from the other morning, uh, we are one game away from tonight's Monday Night Football from getting a clean sweep on the predictions, guys. So a lot of stuff happening. That gets your blood going and get ready for the Monday Night Football game to cap off an awesome week of football, but at the same time, a tragic one. Tragic, excuse me, tragic meaning we had a lot of injuries, more injuries than I could recollect to key players in one week. Specifically on one particular team, and that's the 49ers. But first and foremost, again, good morning. Anybody just popping in the stream, thank you for being here. And I hope you enjoy the show today. All right. So let's start off by talking about those injuries and the 49ers. Like I was going to. Now, I'm looking this up on the CBS Sports website, article by Tyler Sullivan, talking about the Week 2 injury tracker. Biggest names on here, of course, two of the biggest names are Saquon Barkley from the Jets and Nick Bosa from the 49ers. Um, two big injuries right there, two big names. Where the 49ers are concerned, they continue to be haunted by injuries to start the season. They saw a number of stars banged up in their matchup against the Jets. And of all teams, the Jets. I mean, you can say what you want about the Jets, but their defense is is probably above average, average to above average. They get scored on, but they're very, very physical team. So say what you will, but because of that, this includes pass rushers Nick Bosa, Solomon Thomas. They were both injured. They were both carted off the field moments from each other. Bosa was grabbing at his left knee as he was carted off the field, as was Thomas. After the game, head coach Kyle Shanahan of the 49ers noted that Bosa likely tore his ACL. As for Thomas, ESPN reports that further testing on Monday is needed, but there is concern that it's serious. Meanwhile, Jimmy Garoppolo, 49ers quarterback, did not play the second half, and Nick Mullins, the backup of the 49ers, was in under center. That will likely remain the case as Garoppolo deals with a high ankle sprain, per Shanahan. Running back Raheem Mostert, who he had an amazing, I think it was an 80-yard run. No, it was like a 50 or 60-yard run in one play for a touchdown. Also left the game with a knee injury. So 49ers suffered a lot of injuries just in the span of one game. And that's really, really rough because injuries, depending on the player, and you know, especially at the quarterback position on the offensive side, and someone who is prolific as Nick Bosa on the defensive side, that could be a game changer right there for a team's season. It could be really, really rough. So I personally wish nothing but the best for those guys. Um, but anyway, the injuries continue throughout the day. Arguably, the biggest name to go down to injury thus far is Giant star running back Saquon Barkley. New York notes that Barkley has a knee injury and underwent x-rays. ESPN reports that the club fears he may have torn his ACL. Barkley was not the only Giant to go down in the game, as receiver Sterling Shepard was also ruled out due to a toe injury. So the Giants facing a couple of key injuries there. Star running back Saquon Barkley and wide receiver Sterling Shepard. First round rookie Justin Herbert started the game under center for the Chargers, which surprised me. I was watching that was one of the games on the late afternoon games, and I didn't catch what Scott Hansen said on Red Zone as to the reason why um, Herbert started the game, but apparently quarterback Tyrod Taylor was questionable to face the Chiefs due to a chest injury suffered before the game, which is, hopefully he's okay. But I got to be honest, Herbert played well. He played really, really well. But considering this injury to Tyrod Taylor was something that was probably beyond his control, of course. Um, I kind of hope that when Taylor is well, they put him back in as a starter, unless they go on some crazy win streak while he's out. We don't know how long he's going to be out, but I just think, it's crazy to lose your job as a QB over something like this. But then you give the rookie the hot hand. Do you take him out or do you put back the veteran QB? I mean, we're going to have to take a look at that as the weeks go on. Panthers running back Christian McCaffrey was listed as questionable to return in Carolina's loss to the Bucks due to a hamstring injury. Uh, that I think we got a week for McCaffrey to get well, so we'll see how that turns out. Hopefully, he'll be back on there. He's arguably their best player on offense, so um, being listed as questionable has a little, some hope there. Colts wide receiver Paris Campbell was carted off the field In the first quarter of Indy's matchup with the Vikings, Indy also lost safety Malik Hooker due to an Achilles injury, so he may be gone for the season or most of the season. He will not return. In Green Bay, star receiver Devontae Adams has a hamstring injury that listed him as questionable to return. Rams rookie running back Cam Akers is out for the rest of the game because of a rib injury against the Eagles. I saw that, and he was holding it. I was hoping really that it wasn't as serious as what it, because he's a, you know, looks like a really good rookie, um, really good piece to that running game for the Rams. So nothing but the best of luck. Best of luck in his recovery. Hopefully he'll be back soon. This one's another key injury here on the Broncos side. Broncos quarterback Drew Lock is out for the remainder of Denver's matchup with the Steelers after suffering a right shoulder injury that forced him into the locker room. He sustained a hit at the 7:42 remaining in the first quarter. Denver has also lost one wide receiver, Cortland Sutton, for the rest of the game. So that's like two huge pieces right there. Your young star quarterback and one of your best wide receivers are out. That's going to affect anything. And you know, Driscoll came in the backup and he handled the game pretty well, but it wasn't enough to beat the Steelers or their defense. So, um, as we move on, the Dolphins' high-priced corner Byron Jones suffered a groin injury in Miami's matchup with the Bills and has been ruled out. Um, After originally being listed as doubtful to return, the Vikings have downgraded linebacker Anthony Barr to out due to a shoulder injury. Running back Mike Boone is out. So I didn't even know about these two injuries. Now this one I did know about because they had a list of injuries during the middle of the games of the early morning or the early afternoon games. New York Jets have ruled out receiver Brashad Perryman for the rest of the afternoon due to an ankle injury. Um, and that's pretty much it from the article. I think there were other injuries, of course, from the. There were a couple of injuries that I saw from the Chiefs. I didn't see that on there, but I don't know the status of those. But hopefully, all those players they get well. I know with if Bosa has a torn ACL, his season is more than likely done. So again, hoping those guys get back to it. But anyway, guys, once again, good morning. I hope you all are enjoying your morning and your day. Your day. It's another great day and start of a new week. And lots going on in my life. And got my son who's going to be starting back going to speech therapy, and me going back to work. Uh, Probably going to be dealing with time being shorthanded, but with COVID still going around, and people on leave of absence because of it. It's just and they extended my company's COVID LOA until the first of the year is expected. So I was looking at the news on social media, not much on there. Let's take a look. Everybody's talking about the victory from the Chiefs and the Chargers. Very huge victory for the Chiefs because they were down most of that game. That was a very good game yesterday. Probably one of the better ones during the late afternoon. And still talking about some stuff about the Sunday night football game between the Patriots and the Seahawks. Guys, let's talk a little bit about gaming, one of my favorite subjects. Now, gaming. Now, the other day last week we talked about the PS5 and the pre-orders and how people are were placing the blame on Sony for not giving a heads up, or really the if anybody's going to blame anyone, if anybody's going to get mad at anyone, that should be on the retailers. It was their choice to set the pre-orders that evening, and they did officially say, um, and it was reported and it was put on there, and I saw the tweet that pre-orders could be live as early as that evening. So it was already pre-ordered, yet people were still getting mad because they couldn't get their hands on one. Well, I mean, got to be quick. You got to get to it. And I have a feeling, November is still about 6 weeks. November, what is it? November 12th is still about 6 weeks away or so. So there could be a window where pre-orders are once again available as the console productions increase, if they increase. So not out of the running to get yourself a PS5 secured through a pre-order. So just keep your eye. Best advice I could give anyone looking to get a PS5 pre-order is just uh, if you have Twitter, set your notifications to get alerts from those that are reporting, from sites that are reporting pre-orders are available, because there are some out there. I follow a couple of them. I'm trying to help one or two people uh, get a PS5 pre-order, so I'm trying to let them know once I find out. But also tomorrow, the Xbox Series X and S will be available for pre-orders. So we'll see how well the pre-orders go with this one. Um, I think eventually those will sell out too. I'll be surprised if they don't have limited quantities of these as well. We'll just have to see. But early predictions are predicting that PS5 will be sold out and will stay sold out until the first of the year because of the limited quantities that Sony had already announced a couple of months ago. And Xbox Series X, they'll do well with the pre-orders, but not as well as the PS5. Not as well as the PS5. But we'll see. It's all speculations and predictions. So, all right, what do we got going on as well? So let's just scroll through here and see if we can see anything to talk about this morning, guys. Like I said, this is just a show where we talk about daily things happening, things that are on my mind, and other stuff, other cool stuff, guys. Um, oh, this is interesting, guys. Bill Murray turns 70 today. So happy birthday to Bill Murray. Those who know Bill Murray, if you don't know Bill Murray, I mean, come on. We're talking, he starred in Caddyshack, Stripes, Tootsie, Ghostbusters, Scrooge. I mean, you name it. He's been in a lot of awesome films in the uh, early and late 80s and 90s. So that ought to be awesome. Um, let's see. Game sales. There's always good game sales going on, regardless if you have the PlayStation Gold or the Game Pass. So check that out. And hey, always could use some new games, but at the same time, my crazy backlog is just getting bigger and bigger. Mm. Monday Night Raw starts again today, and I'm not watching it, of course. What I usually do and what I've been doing as far as pro wrestling lately is I'll go on Twitter here and there and check out some of the highlights and so and I'm telling you guys, there is nothing on Raw or SmackDown or AEW for that matter that grabs me. I'm just as far as pro wrestling is concerned, now AEW, I already told myself I am done with AEW because of the way the owner carries himself, and that just tells you a lot about the company too. Um, you don't see Vince McMahon tweet out to fans or marks on Twitter, bantering with them back and forth like this guy has done, like Tony Khan has done. And I'm sorry, I just have very little respect for someone that does that. And they're supposed to act professional and act like an owner, and you're acting like one of the boys. So what is it going to be? Are you going to act like an owner, a businessman? You're a son of a wealthy um, football owner, NFL owner, and you're going to act like a complete fool in front of a lot of people on social media and TV. Give me a break. Either act like an owner, or be one of the boys. Let someone else handle the business. Sell it. Let someone else handle the business that can handle the business end. It's just nuts, and that is not going to draw you any more viewers. Which, obviously, from statements from both him and Cody Rhodes, they don't care about growing their business. They pretty much have said so. Not so much in words, just what they have said. You know, the product, the AEW product, has been out for almost a year, guys. It'll be a year this coming October. And Cody here about a month ago was talking about they're still dipping their toes in the water, and so that tells me what you guys don't have a mission statement. Which any business, that's the first thing that you do. You come out with a business statement. What is your business? What is the purpose of your business? Purpose of any business, regardless of what it is to grow your customers, or grow, in this case for pro wrestling, grow your audience. And that's something they have not done. They have maintained the same audience average of about 800,000 people every week on TV. They've had spikes like a couple of weeks ago, but that's only because, ironically, during that show, they only had about 40, 45 minutes of in ring wrestling, and the rest of the stuff was backstage stuff, interviews, packages, stuff like that. So, if that doesn't tell you what draws, I don't know what will. Even to the hardcore fans that are currently watching the product. But no, going back to WWE, that's something I can talk about for the next 8 minutes. I've been a wrestling fan since I was 10, going back to 1988. Very first pay per view that I watched was SummerSlam '88. Um, I remember it vividly. It was over at my sister's ex husband's place, and that's what sparked me to continue to watch wrestling on Saturday mornings. Um, and what really, so I would sporadically at that point watch it. And what really made me watch it was the build up early 1990 to Hulk Hogan versus Ultimate Warrior at WrestleMania 6. Now, at that time, because I was told ahead of time by my sister's ex husband that it's all staged, it's all scripted, it's all fake. None of the matches that happen in the ring are real. They're all simulated. They're all staged out. They're all, another word, it's what the boys like to call, or the business like to call, a work, which is the matches are not real. They don't really punch each other. They don't really kick each other. Um, and the job of each performer basically is to make sure they that safety is in mind when you're working with your opponent. And you look at the product today, and it's like they do all these flips and flops and diving onto 10 competitors from the outside, like they're bowling pins. It's a laughing stock right now. It's laughable, and the lack of audience that watches it tells you that. So, could wrestling really potentially come back? I think it would take a lot, um, because you look at it this way: people are waiting for someone other than Vince McMahon to run WWE, and I'm telling you right now, if it's Triple H, I seriously doubt it because Triple H, it's been proven because of the media scrums that he has with the dirt sheet marks, um, that if he continues that, there's no hope for the product. There's no hope for the product where storylines, character development, any of that, I don't see that happening. But yeah, I mean, I've pretty much turned into a casual fan over the course of the last couple of years, mainly because I fell out of love with the current product, both WWE and AEW. I know AEW is supposed to be an alternative. I watched it for a few months, but the stuff they have on the shows, I mean, they're really inconsistent. Now there is one thing that Cody Rhodes did that, yeah, they're dipping their toes in the water. Is like you do not know what you're expecting every week, and they're not consistent. And when you don't have some sort of consistency in a product, especially with a sport where what will grab the audience is supposed to be a story driven character development show to make you care for these people that are on the show, then you're going to lose that audience in the course of the program, in the course of 2 hours or 3 hours or whenever it's on. So my hope always, is that pro wrestling will find a way to really come back in a boom period, because let's face it, the true boom period of pro wrestling happened in 1997 when when we had good creative, uh, the character development was top notch, and literally everyone was more or less over, and everyone had some sort of storyline to it. I mean, you can go back and watch Monday Night Raw from mid late 97 all the way to 2000, and then shortly after that is when it declined. And to me, I think the first part of the decline happened when WWE purchased WCW and they did the whole invasion angle. And then you started to see stuff as everything that was going on was done on the fly, because you never in the thought that at the time Vince McMahon purchased WCW to the time the whole invasion and alliance angles happened, in between that time, would you really thought that would happen? That there would be like a WCW would turn into a faction and align themselves with ECW athletes? I sure wouldn't have. But I digress. You still had a ton of fans at that point. This was 2001. But then it fizzled out as quickly as it came up. It only happened in the course of that year. It only happened in the course of that year. And after that, it was back to business as usual. And then the brand split happened about a year after that, and which really put things in. You could see it as, yes, this is good because at the time they had loaded roster, so they had to have they had to have two shows to showcase those athletes and that huge roster. But at the same time, back then, you look at the athletes they had then compared to now with this current format of the brand split, and it's not the same. I mean, there was so much more creatively going on with both shows back then than there is now. And until they see that and they get away from all the in ring stuff and focus more on character development and then the storylines they place them in, then that is how they're going to grab the audience. Because at the end of the day, they're TV shows. They are TV shows, and that's the mindset they got to have to be able to grab a television audience. But I'm hoping that once fans are allowed back into the arenas, uh, we'll see a spike up in the ratings, because ratings for both Raw and SmackDown lately, they have been either at 2 million or lower. And so hopefully we'll see that climb back up, especially for Raw, once fans start coming back into the arena. I mean, they already started doing it with football, so I'm assuming that maybe they'll start talking about doing that for pro wrestling. All right, guys, we'll put a bookmark to that topic, and we'll probably talk a little bit more about pro wrestling topics and the ins and outs and everything of how bad that business has declined over the last 20 years, 20 plus years, I should say. So, anyway, guys, thank you very much for joining me for this edition for Daily Darkside. Again, it's a show where we dedicate just some news tidbits, things that are going on in my mind and my outlook on things. And I appreciate your comments. Those on YouTube that watch, if you want to leave a comment, what would you like me to talk about or address? I would love to do that. Just leave some comments. Again, YouTubers, like and subscribe. Guys, I hope you have a very, very good day today. It's Monday. Go out there and kill it, guys. Just go out there and slay the day. Have a good day. May the force be with you. We will be back again tomorrow, Tuesday, at 7 a.m. Central Time sharp. Um, I can't wait to keep going with this show. And again, any comments or questions, please let me know. Follow me on Twitter. I got my Twitter link. I'll post it here both on Twitch and there is a link there on my channel on YouTube. Drop me a follow there. And while you're there, drop me a follow here on Twitch. Greatly appreciate it. Guys, thank you for being here. May the force be with you. I will see you guys Tuesday morning bright and early. Take care. Have a great day, guys.